Good morning, everyone. Today we will continue the molecular biology class. There is another next chapter of molecular biology technique. So the competency B17.4 describe various techniques of molecular biology and its application in different genetic diseases. So at the end of this session, everyone should be able to understand what is DNA hybridization technique and what is southern, what is northern, and what is western blot. Then animal cloning, molecular cloning, restriction fragment length polymorphism, polymerase chain reaction, monoclonal antibodies, single strand conformation polymorphism, heteroduplex analysis, conformation sensitive gel electrophoresis, protein truncation test, DNA sequencing, and also discussion on stem cells. So at the end of this session, everyone should understand what is recombinant DNA technology, what are the restriction endonucleases, what is the term vectors, and what is molecular cloning, and what is gene therapy. Recombinant DNA is DNA molecules formed by laboratory method of genetic recombination such as molecular cloning to bring together genetic material from multiple sources, creating sequences that would not otherwise be found in that particular genome. Recombinant DNA is possible because DNA molecules from all organisms share the same chemical structure. They differ only in the nucleotide sequence within the identical overall structure. So recombinant DNA is the general name for a pitch of DNA that has been created by the combination of at least two strands of DNA. So recombinant DNA molecules are sometimes called chimeric DNA because they can be made of material from two different species like the mythical chimera. So recombinant DNA technology uses palindromic sequences and leads to the production of sticky and blunt ends. So now, what is recombinant DNA? So this DNA that has been formed artificially by combining constituents from different organisms. Recombinant DNA technology. So using recombinant DNA technology, we can isolate and clone single copy of a gene or a DNA segment into an indefinite number of copies which are all identical. So these new combinations of genetic material or recombinant DNA molecules are introduced into the host cells where they propagate and multiply. The technique or methodology is called recombinant DNA technology. We will be studying what are the applications of this DNA technology in preventing or diagnosing the genetic diseases. So by obtaining this recombinant DNA, how we will obtain? So what are the different steps? Step 1, the DNA fragment containing the gene sequence to be cloned, also known as an ACE insert, is isolated first. Then next, in the second step, cutting of the DNA. And then in the third step, joining the DNA. Then fourth step, the insertion of these DNA fragments into the host cell using a vector which carries the DNA molecule. And in step 5, the recombinant DNA molecules are generated when the vector cell replicate in the host cell. And the sixth step, transfer of all the recombinant DNA molecules into an appropriate host cell. And seventh step, selection of the host cell carrying the recombinant DNA molecule using as a marker. And eighth step, replication of the cells carrying recombinant DNA molecules to get a genetically identical cells or a clone. Then now, how we will isolate? So the isolation in this, the first step in making recombinant DNA is to isolate a donor and a vector DNA. So the procedure used for obtaining vector DNA depends on the nature of the vector. And bacterial plasmid are commonly used vectors, and these plasmid must be purified away from the bacterial genomic DNA. So first, ultracentrifugations. So a protocol for extracting plasmid DNA can be achieved by ultracentrifugation, and this plasmid DNA forms a distinct band after ultracentrifugation in a potassium chloride density gradient containing ethidium bromide. So the plasmid band is collected by punching a hole in the plasmic centrifuge tube. And next, alkaline lysis. Another protocol relies on the observation that at a specific alkaline pH, bacterial genomic DNA denatures, but the plasmids do not. So by subsequent neutralization precipitates the genomic DNA, but plasmids stay in the solution. And phages can also be used as vector for cloning DNA in bacterial systems. Phage DNA is isolated from a pure suspension of phages recovered from a phage lysate. Now coming to the cutting DNA. Here the restriction enzyme EcoR1 cuts a circular DNA molecule bearing one target sequence, resulting in a linear molecule with single-stranded sticky ends. So this is the diagram showing how a sticky end or how they are cleaved and what is the function of this EcoR1. You can see here recognition sequence, then cleavage at the site where EcoR1 egg and how the sticky end is formed. Now coming to the insertion, choosing a gene cloning vector. A vector is any DNA molecule which is capable of multiplying inside the host to which our gene of interest is integrated for cloning. In this process, restriction enzyme function as a scissor for cutting the DNA molecule, and ligase enzyme is a joining enzyme that join the vector DNA with the gene of interest. This will produce the recombinant DNA. So introducing vector DNA into host cell. The plasmid vector, the vector is added to a flask containing a culture of E. coli. Calcium ions, usually in the form of calcium chloride, are added to the flask followed by a brief heat shock. This allows holes to briefly appear in the cell surface membrane of the E. coli, making it to permeable DNA and allowing the plasmids to enter. So now what is phage vectors? Introduced by infection of bacterial lawn growing on an agar plate, the culture or growth of viruses is made more difficult than the culture of bacteria or fungi by the fact that viruses will only grow. Now placing the gene in the vector. So here the plasmid DNA, the DNA molecule are small and can be easily separated based on its size. And bacterial cells are broken open and chromosomal DNA is centrifuged down. And this leaves the plasmid DNA in the liquid above the pellet. So the plasmid are purified before cutting with a restriction enzyme. So restriction fragments from donor DNA are mixed with plasmid DNA and joined by their sticky end, and the initial attraction is due to the hydrogen bonds, but the sugar phosphate backbone is then joined using an enzyme DNA ligase. So what are the example use of recombinant DNA, or what are the applications of this recombinant DNA technology? For example, insulin, which is widely used by the diabetic patients, it's a very common and it's the first product of the recombinant DNA technology. So insulin production, the DNA for insulin is first isolated. A plasmid is made of DNA, is removed from a bacterial chain. Then a restriction enzyme cut the plasmid DNA open, leaving sticky ends. So the insulin gene with complementary sticky end is added, and DNA ligase enzyme splices or joins together the plasmid DNA and the insulin DNA. So the plasmid, now genetically modified, is inserted back into the bacterium. The bacterium host cell divide and produce copies of the plasmid. The bacterium makes the human insulin using the gene in the plasmid. So the insulin is extracted from the bacterial culture. So this is how plasmid, vector, and the cleavage site and cleavage by EcoR1 endonucleases, and how a foreign DNA by E. coli. Then there will be annealing, and there will be where the DNA ligase is egg, and finally we get the plasmid chimera, and how this is joining up this DNA. Then now cloning into a plasmid. So this diagram shows where the gene for antibiotic resistance, the plasmid, and the site of the action of this EcoR1, and then how these sticky ends are formed, and from a foreign DNA, and what is the site of, where is the site of this region of interaction, then hybridization plus DNA ligases, and finally we got the DNA insertion, and then bacterial shell, then bacterial chromosomes, then further cloning, then clone, then finally bacterial plate on the medium plus antibiotic, then only bacterium containing recombinant DNA will grow, and further culture will go on, then DNA is purified and we got the recombinant product of the new DNA. So production of an insulin. So this is the human cell, and then from the human cell we'll take out the insulin gene, then from the bacteria we got a plasmid and recombinant plasmid is formed, and further we can see the transgenic bacteria, and this will grow further in the culture, and finally we can extract the insulin by after following all this process. That is how insulin is produced by recombinant DNA technology. So now coming to the applications, preparation of gene maps in revealing detail of various infections, disease such as inborn error of metabolism, finding out the complete nucleotide sequence of the genome of an organism, and identification of genes. So detecting cytogenic abnormalities, for example, Down syndrome, multifactorial disorders, atherosclerosis, coronary artery disease can be detected by recombinant DNA technology. Then preventing various genetic disorders, for example, inherited hemoglobin disorders, phenylketonuria, retinoblastoma, etc. can be detected in the early stage. And also we can apply this technology to understand a molecular event is biological process like growth, differentiation, and aging can be detected. So replacement or correction of deleterious mutation by transfer of clone gene in a patient. Then production of genetically modified organisms or transgenic organisms for providing particular product and nutrient. Gene therapy, what is it? Removal and replacement of defective genes with normal healthy functional gene is known as gene therapy. For example, for sickle cell anemia, severe combined immunodeficiency is due to a defect in the gene for the enzyme adenosine diaminase in 25% of the cases. It has a several negative features as well. There may be extensive erosion and genetic destruction of plant germplasm, ecological imbalance, production of monster, production of dangerous toxic chemical, production of highly lethal microbe, and they are used in microbial warfare to kill human, animals, and plants. So next technique, molecular biology technique, is hybridization and blotting technique. So what is hybridization and blotting technique? So a prof is defined as a single-stranded piece of DNA labeled either with radioisotope or with non-radioisotope level, and the nucleotide sequence of which is complementary to the target cell. So in this diagram we can see the double-stranded DNA, and DNA is denatured and strands are separated by heat or alkali. Then we can add a prof which is a radio level DNA, and finally parent DNA and prof hybridize if complementary sequences are available. So this is type of DNA hybridization. Then what are the blotting techniques? So the analytical technique used for the identification of specific DNA, RNA, or a protein from thousands of each. So there are different types of blotting techniques: southern blotting for DNA, northern blotting for RNA, and western blotting for proteins. So southern blotting, Professor Sir Edwin Southern developed this method in the year 1975. The principle is based on the specific base pairing rule of complementary nucleic acid strands. So this diagram shows this is the steps how Southern blotting takes place. First, restriction fragment is prepared, then restriction fragment will be added and it will be taken to the electrophoresis chamber. Then it will come to the blotting step where the sponge is there, alkaline solution is there, gel is there, and nitrocellulose paper is there, and further paper towels are there. In the fourth step, the hybridization with radioactive prop. Here DNA prop in solution in plastic bag is added. Then finally rinse away this unattached prop, and then we can see the DNA prop, gene of insertion, and single-stranded DNA cell. Then we can see by audio radiography.